Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, everything I'm saying is completely speculative and should be taken as such. I am a clinician, and I understand that if I were to properly assess people, they would be in my office, they would consent to it, it would span several weeks, if not months, and watching a show doesn't provide that, obviously. So just take that into consideration as I talk. Let's watch.
I thought marrying Michael would make my worries go away, but actually, they've gotten worse. He's going to be 33. I'm going to be 55. And my skin's going to change, and I'm going to start to look older than I am. And Michael's still going to be as young as he looked the day I married him.
All right, so that's interesting, and kudos to her for actually admitting that and being differentiated enough and confident enough to reveal that, admit that she, even though she thought that getting married would relieve her anxiety, but it hasn't. I'm guessing what she's referring to is the worries of losing him, the worries of him cheating on her, the worries of being broken up with. We all have that worry, and some of us have a lot of that worry given our past or given our current relationship. And she has exhibited a lot of that. We call that jealousy. We call that preoccupied attachment or attachment insecurity. And we have a lot of different ways to cope with that worry. One way is to just be healthy about it and say, hey, I'm worried. Can you help me with this? Can you clarify something for me? Can you reassure me that you're not going to leave me? Maybe you talk with some friends. Maybe you talk to a therapist. Maybe you question, should I really be worrying about this? Is this informed from my past, or is it informed by something that's happened right now? There's a lot of things that we do. Or what we saw Angela do over, I don't know how many seasons I watched her prior to this, but she would get upset, she would yell, she might even get physical with him, she would break up with him, she would, physically move away from him, I can't stand you, she would insult him. And then every time that happened, the question was, is this really over? Because she would say, I'm done, we're done, I'm not marrying you, or I'm getting divorced, or something like that. And if she meant that, then that would be fine. It's not a great way to communicate that, but if you want to leave, then go ahead and do it. But she always went back to him. So in the gestalt, in the entirety of the situation, she wasn't actually saying she wanted to leave him. So what was she saying? Well, some people will use, I want to leave you, as a way of communicating, please don't leave me, or please reassure me that I matter to you. And it's one of the ways we can test people. If Angela is insecure, doesn't really know if Michael loves her, and she is very mean to him, pushes him away, and he still comes back to her and still pleads, no, I want to be with you, then that is a pretty strong indication that he really does want to be with her. Because if you push someone away and they go, okay, fine, I guess I'll go away, then that for some people confirms that the other person wasn't really in it to win it. Now, what it could mean is the other person just has good boundaries in some instances. But anyway, so for Angela, she has been exhibiting those behaviors. A lot of people do this. There's nothing inherently odd about it. It's very common. She would dip into abusive language and abusive physicality and abusive behavior emotionally, which was not okay. But we understand where it comes from. And she's admitting now, which is good. And she's been pretty good at being able to take responsibility, at least for some of her feelings when she is calm. And in this moment, she's saying, I thought that getting married would eliminate those jealousy worries, or those worries that I was going to lose Michael, but they haven't. In fact, they have continued, maybe even gotten stronger. I'm still really focused on this idea that he's a younger man and I'm an older woman, and he's not going to want to be with me because I'm only getting older, and that he's definitely, oh my goodness, he's going to leave me. Now, what do we do with that feeling? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it. One healthy option is to say, hey, honey, I'm feeling insecure today. It's not your fault that I feel insecure. So can you just reassure me that you're not going to leave me? Can you do that thing again where you really convince me that you love me and that you're attracted to me even though I am older? I'm just having one of those days. Can you help me out? And then the Michaels of the world have to rise to the occasion and do what they can to the best of their abilities. And then that usually works. Let's see what Angela does.
I thought marrying Michael would make my worries go away, but actually, they've gotten worse. And Michael's still going to be as young as he looked the day I married him. So If I'm not young, I can at least look the damn part. And it starts with my weight.
Okay, so if Angela wants to have this surgery, then she's fine to have it. It's totally fine. It's her option. Now, I didn't show this clip, but Michael is worried about spending that money as a couple on this surgery, and instead of saving that money for a surrogacy pregnancy so that Michael can have a child. So I think he's going to talk about that. The other thing is she might be, it might be a moving goalpost for her, meaning that she's like, okay, if I could just get married, then I'll feel secure. Okay, if I can just lose weight, then I'll feel secure. Will she or will she not? I don't know. I guess we'll find out one way or the other, but it's possible that she won't. It's possible that if she loses weight, she won't feel secure. That really what's happening is the past traumas, and maybe even past traumas with Michael himself, given that he's cheated on her, are informing her present emotions and her present worries. And working on their relationship, having the ability to talk about your feelings of insecurity, have the other person reassure you, might be the answer instead of losing weight. Now, if she wants to lose weight, it's fine. It's up to her, but we have to wonder if that actually would eliminate the worries for her.
I think it's possible that Angela is doing all of this surgery just to move on, to look sexy, attractive, and look younger, because she's tired of waiting for me, and she can move on and find somebody else.
Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know Michael had that in him. In previous seasons, he was mostly just on a mission to get married and didn't really talk much about his inner life. And so now he's talking about his inner life. He's talking about how her getting this surgery is actually triggering his worries of abandonment, because he thinks that if she gets thin, that she will leave him. Or even she wants to get thin so she can leave. She already wants to leave him. And they're both worried about that with each other, which is common. There's nothing wrong with that. Particularly given the way that their relationship started, it wouldn't be unusual for both of them to wonder, is this person really in love with me? Are we really strong as a couple? Can I really depend on this person? Are they really not going to leave me for someone else? And let's see how they talk about it. Nothing wrong with the feeling. Let's see how they talk about it. Now, what I think is going to happen, which seems to be happening, is that instead of Michael saying, hey, do what you want with your body. It's your body, and I support you, and I'll be there with you either way. I love you the way you are now, and if you change, I'll still love you. That's fine. However, I have a worry that if you lose weight, that you're going to leave me, so can you please reassure me? But that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, I don't want you to have the surgery. Instead of talking about his insecurities and also his desire for having kids, he seems to be taking this strategy of trying to figure out a way to get her to stop having the surgery. People do this all the time. Couples come into my office all the time with this kind of problem. They head into it with good intentions and normal feelings, but it gets filtered through all these defenses and confusion, and then what they end up fighting about really has nothing to do with what's down there. We could point to two main things that we know about Michael. One is he really wants to have a child. Nothing wrong with that. He also is apparently worried that she's going to leave him. Instead of communicating about those things, he talks about, hey, your body is fine. Don't have the surgery. It's too expensive. You might die, pointing out all these reasons, instead of talking about what's underneath it, which could help if he were to reveal that to her.
I'm not going to lose weight and go off and leave you because I look better and skinnier and maybe think prettier and my confidence is way up to the ceiling. I don't need no other man.
Okay, 2 thumbs up. So he was saying this in the interview. I didn't know he actually said it. I don't think they showed us that. So he actually did communicate one of those main feelings, that if you lose weight, I feel like you're going to leave me. So that's 2 thumbs up to him, and 2 thumbs up to Angela for rising to the occasion. We just saw it play itself out that I talked about, where you say, I'm worried you're going to leave me. Can you reassure me? And then she rose to the occasion, said, no, if I lose weight, I'm not going to leave you. I love you. You're the only one for me. And so that's great. It's a wonderful example of what I often am talking about.
You got to worry about that, honey. Because let me tell you why. I'm gonna settle this right now. Because you only once in a lifetime does someone's penis fit a vagina like a glove, hand in a glove.
Okay, that went in a direction I didn't think it was going to go. I don't even know if YouTube is going to let me show that clip, but we'll find out together, I suppose. What I thought she was going to do is what I was about to give her even more thumbs up. I mean, that's fine, what she said, and maybe this is reassuring on some level, but the sort of thing I was hoping she would say is, because there's two main elements to this reassurance thing that you do for your partner when they need it. When they indicate that they're insecure, you reassure and you say, no, I'm never going to leave you. So you want to establish that. But then you want to demonstrate why. You want to really emphasize why. You want to be convincing. You want to dig down deep and establish, why am I even saying this right now? And things that Angela could have said is like, let me put this to rest right now. So not only did I say I'm not going to leave you if I lose weight, so everything's fine there, but let me tell you why. It's because I love you so much and I want to be with you and you're the only one for me. And I've decided that in my mind. There is just no chance. I have no reservation. I have no worries about you and me. I want to be with you forever. Something along those lines. Deep in my heart, I love you. I need you so much. I don't want to be, some kind of demonstration of why you would say, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, she said what she said, and, maybe this reassures him. I think she's saying it as a joke on some level, but maybe also kind of true. Let's see what he says.
Baby, I'm gonna miss you. One of the toughest things about having this weight loss surgery is the doctors told me that I have to give up smoking. I've been smoking for 40 years. I can't just snap my fingers and be able to stop.
Yeah, cigarette addiction is one of the strongest compulsions that we know about. And I hope that if she tries to quit, seriously, that she has a treatment program and that she has a whole system of sobriety from cigarettes. What oftentimes people will do is they will just try to quit. They'll say, okay, I'm just not going to smoke anymore, or they'll use the, vape, or they'll use a patch or the nicotine gum. And these things have, somewhat of a success rate. But usually what helps people to quit is when they have a whole system, regardless of what it is they're trying to quit, whether it is another substance, alcohol, or gambling. You need to involve a whole system. You have to have people that you talk to, particularly in the first couple months, because the intense drive to smoke again is extremely strong. So, good for her that she is going to quit. And it sounds like it's medically important that she quit. And hopefully she has a robust system in place to help her quit.
This is a stressful time, especially during this pandemic. And I'm going to tell you, them cigarettes help me keep my calmness.
So that is a myth. On one level, it's true in that if you don't smoke a cigarette, your body will have a number of different reactions to motivate you to use again, and it will stress you out. So as you go through withdrawal symptoms, you start to stress out, right? And then you smoke a cigarette and you're relaxed. And so there's this myth that cigarettes help me relax, but they don't necessarily. For people that actually attain sobriety and then a year or two later, they will report that, well, I was only getting relief from smoking a cigarette because I was addicted to cigarettes, and now that I'm no longer addicted to cigarettes, I don't need them to relax. I have other ways of relaxing. So that's one of the ways that keeps us in the compulsion, keeps us in the addiction, is that notion that we need it to relax, which isn't true. If anything, it's actually stressing her out more. The ongoing onslaught of the toxins in her body are obviously hurting her, probably, but could also be affecting her brain, could be affecting her sleep, could be affecting her stress level. And the other thing is to think about, having nicotine and other substances going like this through the day. You smoke a cigarette, you have a good dose. It starts to, drift off, and then you smoke. And so your body is in this system. It's going like this, rather than being more consistent throughout the day. The same thing can happen from caffeine and other substances. But anyway, now I'm not a physician, so I'm speaking from the psychological side of this. There's a whole, physical side of this, and where you talk with a physician, a medical doctor about all these kinds of things. So if you want advice on that, you would want to seek out that professional. All right, well, that does it for that episode. If you didn't know already, I have a Cameo, which is, I signed up for it. People asked me to sign up for it, and I thought, well, who wants to see me on Cameo? And then people did it, and it's actually been quite fun for me to give back to y'all, to say happy birthday or happy anniversary, or I don't know, it just feels good. But so if you want to, you can go to Cameo and send a happy birthday message or whatever kind of a message to anyone. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.